Federal government hands over 64 100 capacity CNG buses to labor and student unions.
Over $175 million of worth of investment has gone into this sector already.
Nigeria at 64. Messages of hope resonate at interdenominational church service.
Undoubtedly, the Nigerian nation is defined by precedents. To the challenges of modern-day governance, we have continually shown our indomitable spirit as Nigerians.
Vice President Shettima returns to Abuja after attending 79th United Nations General Assembly in New York.
Good morning, Nigeria. Today we begin our conversation on Nigeria at 64.
Jumai, Nigeria will be 64 tomorrow. How do you feel?
I feel good. It's a journey that has, been through turbulent times, but we're saying that there's light at the end of the tunnel.
There is light at the end of the tunnel. That's good. Tuesday, October 1st marks a significant milestone in Nigeria's history. Nigeria turns 64 since our independence from British colonial rule.
And that's true. And as we celebrate this momentous occasion, we reflect on our journey so far, from the struggles of our founding fathers to the present-day challenges and triumphs. The Nigerian story is one of resilience and determination that has stood the test of time.
But as we commemorate this anniversary, we also confront the present issues that will shape our nation's future. Economic growth, security, corruption, and the quest for good governance are some of them.
And good morning, Nigeria. Today, Demola, we begin our conversation on Nigeria 64. We shall be discussing the state of the nation. We will also explore the legacies of Nigeria's independence, its relevance today, and the impact of economic policies on ordinary Nigerians. We expect our guests to share their insights and experiences, offering unique perspectives on Nigeria's progress and prospects.
Well, Nigeria at 64. Jumai, let me ask you again. Where are we now and where do we go from here? One pertinent question is, I'd like to ask you is, if Nigeria were to be a human being, how would you describe her at 64?
Well, I would say resilient and vibrant individual with a rich cultural heritage. And that is Nigeria. We can't take anything away from that.
Okay. That's good. So, I'm Ademola Adio. You're welcome to the program. And Jumai.
I'm Jumai Yusuf. Tomorrow we celebrate our 61st birthday anniversary, and we begin our conversation today. And I tell you, it's going to be quite interesting. Just sit tight and enjoy it. Don't forget, in the course of the program, Chukudi Okoli Baja will be with us for a newspaper review. But first, let's join Dennis Adeguloye for this morning news. Hello, Dennis, and congratulations as the best newscaster on NTA 24.
Thank you very much, Jumai, and good morning. And good morning to you.
How do you feel, Nigeria 64?
Definitely, well, there's always, as you said, light at the end of the tunnel, and Nigeria is certainly a work in progress, but under the current administration, there's certainly space for optimism and looking forward to a brighter future for the country.
Good.
So, good morning, Nigeria. Here is the morning news. The federal government has officially handed over 64 compressed natural gas buses with varying capacities to leaders of the organized labor and students' unions. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, accompanied by fellow ministers, emphasized this initiative aligns with President Bola Tinubu's commitment to transforming Nigeria's economy into a sustainable and progressive force. This development is part of the presidential CNG initiative, aiming to finance 200,000 new CNG buses and tricycles across Nigeria by 2027. The deployment of CNG buses promises a cleaner, safer and more cost-effective transportation solution, echoing President Tinubu's declaration of a new era in Nigeria's public transportation.
More and more Nigerians, technicians especially, are being trained. So it's a whole gamut of arrangement that will benefit all spheres of, all sectors of this country. All Nigerians will be felt. This is beginning from those who need the most, the working class. The working class are going to get this. But beyond that, other Nigerians are also going to be the market people. Everyone, artisans, everybody will now feel this impact.
A special church service held to commemorate Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary has echoed messages of hope and resilience for Nigerians, with leaders projecting that the nation will overcome its socio-economic challenges shortly. The service, attended by top government functionaries, including former President Olusegun Obasanjo, served as a platform for reflection and unity.
The Nigerian nation is defined by resilience. To the challenges of modern-day governance, we have continually shown our indomitable spirit as Nigerians.
Meanwhile, Vice President Kashim Shettima has arrived back in Abuja after successfully representing President Bola Tinubu at the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. During his time at the UN General Assembly, the Vice President presented Nigeria's national statements at the general debate, engaging in crucial bilateral meetings and various sideline events. As Nigeria prepares to celebrate its 64th independence anniversary, Vice President Shettima will join President Tinubu for commemorative events. This significant milestone reflects the nation's journey since gaining independence in 1960. President Bola Tinubu has appointed Joseph Olasukanmi Tigbe as Director General and Global Liaison for the Nigeria-China Strategic Partnership. This development follows the President's visit to China in early September, where significant agreements were reached between the two nations. Tigbe, a distinguished professional with a first-class degree in civil engineering from the Obafemi Awolowo University, will report directly to the President. As a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria and the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, he brings a wealth of expertise to his new role. Leading day-to-day operations, Tigbe will oversee the partnership's daily activities, ensuring seamless collaboration with Chinese counterparts. In the Strategic Action Plan, he will submit a comprehensive plan to maximize benefits from the Beijing agreements, outlining specific deliverables, timelines, and key performance indicators. In Nigeria's priority projects and investments, he will identify vital projects, projected investments, and expected socio-economic outcomes, aligning with Nigeria's national development goals. President Xi Jinping pledged at the 2024 Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, FOCAC, promising significant financial support with 360 billion yuan, approximately 51 billion US dollars, earmarked for African nations over 3 years, alongside support for 30 infrastructure projects aimed at boosting connectivity and creating 1 million jobs. Tigbe's appointment underscores President Tinubu's commitment to strengthening Nigeria-China relations and harnessing the partnership's potential for socio-economic growth. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has launched a nationwide crackdown on drug trafficking, resulting in significant arrests and seizures. Two notorious drug kingpins, Jiboye Samuel and a community leader, Alhaji Bashir Talba, are among those apprehended, alongside two ex-convicts and an auto parts dealer, Ejiofor Nnameka Chibuzie, who attempted to export heroin and cannabis hidden in lead lamps and sofa legs. Key seizures in the interception of international shipments by the NDLEA were various drugs, including tramadol, pentazocine injection and cannabis en route to the US, UK, Canada, Australia, Thailand and Oman. NDLEA conducted operations in several states, including Lagos, Kogi, Katsina, Niger, Kano, Plateau, Oyo, and Edo, seizing substantial quantities of illicit substances. The agency's efforts are part of its ongoing war against drug abuse, sensitization lectures, and advocacy visits nationwide. Well, those are the highlights of the news at this time. Good Morning Nigeria continues with Ademola and Jume after this commercial break. Please don't go away.
Nigeria is at the threshold of another milestone in its history as the country is set for the celebration of its 64th independence anniversary on the 1st of October. This year's celebration with the theme, Nigeria at 64, reflecting on the past, inspiring the future, affords the country the chance to reflect on the journey of nationhood and assess the task of nation building.
There's hardship, but how did we get here?
As this year's celebration coincides with the country's 25 years of unbroken democracy, the task of engendering an inclusive governance that caters for every segment, especially the youth, is now.
We've sustained 25 years of democracy this year. We don't want to keep the people hungry and angry.
Nigeria at 64, reflecting on the past, inspiring the future.
Do not waste time. Put your baby to breast within the first 1 hour of delivery to give that first yellowish milk colostrum. Colostrum has all the important nutrients your baby needs to start a healthy life. Colostrum also helps to protect your baby against diseases. Remember, put your baby to breast within the first 1 hour of delivery. This message is from the ANRIN Project, Federal Ministry of Health.
Is this the new one?
Yes, ma. And each portion contains 5 grams of protein, 2.66 milligrams of iron, 414 IU, ma, of vitamin A.
Copy that.
They're coming up, huh?
Move.
Mommy, is that what I think it is, Mommy?
Yes, it is, baby.
You are the engine of your family. They win because of you. Want them to win every day with the goodness of Golden Morn. Golden Morn, make every day golden. From Nestle.
We all get that party where they get your back anytime or day. E go carry a matter for head like say na your own. Now so Go TV tanda for your side as your party for correct enjoyment. We not a tear pocket. For this Go TV Super Plus Golden Window, you fit touchlight all the 380 Premier League games, correct local shows, and better film. We day for you. Make your sharply upgrade or recharge your Go TV on top Super Plus to enjoy every today. The Super Plus Golden Window don't come out money now. No do yourself, oh. Go TV. Love it.
From the Atlantic across the savannah to the Sahara, we rise, a land of the free, we know they tire. We dream great, our spirit is undying.
Resilient, rooted like palm tree, we sway in colors, we turn dark into light, we make solutions, we ignite passion, yeah. Ethnicity is unique, we are more than just a nation.
We are Nigeria, strengthening unity, we know they carry lives. We are Nigeria, together live the dream of a land with great destiny. We are Nigeria.
I am the real Nigerian. Brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
Thanks for staying with us. You're still on to Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the NTA. Up next on the program is Newspaper Review.
Chooks the boy is here. Good morning, Chooks.
I hope I look entirely
You look chookies.
boyish today.
You look
different. You look like a boy.
Oh, yes. You see, it's in the attitude.
It's in the feeling.
You
it's
push
in the
70,
mood.
you're still looking 40-ish. It's in the attitude.
Yeah, it's in the attitude.
Stop running into
Nigeria will
old
be
age.
64 tomorrow.
I am 3 years older than Nigeria, come to think of it.
Yes, I remember you always tell us you were there at the independence
I'll be
year.
67, December 5. Even though I don't feel it.
You don't feel it.
Yeah,
you don't feel it like Nigeria doesn't feel it.
I don't know whether
so
that's
tell
the
us
comparison I want to.
So tell us what it was in 1960 when Nigeria gained independence.
Well, first of all, I was one village man. My mom would send me to go and buy crayfish. I was in one pair of pants most of the time, sewed with khaki, and the rope with which you tied it around your.
Yes.
Some of it will be trailing. You'll be trailing some of it, almost sweeping the floor. And your mom would say, "Before this saliva dries, make sure you come back with that crayfish." We were good children then, and it was. That day, on Independence Day, they were selling Make Me Well. You know, that's what we call something like buns, meat in it.
Oh,
yes.
Make
They
Me
don't
Well.
sell those things anymore.
How much was it then?
Maybe you
Less than
could
a kobo,
you could
right?
get like 4 for 1 penny.
Oh,
You know, that time. Yes.
The British
not
penny.
No,
is it?
The British
yeah,
penny,
no, the
yes.
British,
Okay.
the Queen,
British
the
penny,
Queen's
yes,
bust
yes,
was
yes.
on it.
Mm.
You know,
Yes.
it was a sweet, it was sweet sensation if I may use that.
But what
It
was the
so
feel? What
good.
was the mood like on that day? Can you remember?
Oh, the mood was the green, white, green was inside us. Nigeria, we hail thee. Even if a such a fly was, eating you up on one of the cheeks to dare
You
not
cannot
touch it.
dare bring your
You know,
hands
because
down.
you are singing Nigeria, we hail thee.
Yes.
I don't know whether 64 years on, whether it has all panned out the way we thought, we hoped it would.
Well, Nigeria is a grandpa
But
now.
God day,
Yes.
my namesake.
Yes.
Like
Let's-
Dennis said, it's a work in progress.
It's work in progress. And
But that's what it is.
And I said there's a light at
My
the end of
people
the
will
tunnel.
tell you, only we work and
Yes.
just. If you join vexation to the problem on the ground, hypertension will become your friend.
Oh,
All
that's
right.
a good one. Let's
So-
quickly go to the papers. I'll begin with the People's Daily. And just below the masthead on People's Daily, ASU gives 14 more days ultimatum to federal government over strike. And Taraba ex-governor Ishaku in AFCC net over alleged 27 billion naira fraud. At the bottom plate of the People's Daily, Shuaibu planning to forcefully enter government house. Edo government tells IGP. Security experts laud CDS for establishing theater operation in Northwest. Details on page 7. Vice President Kashim Shettima returns to Nigeria after anger outing in New York. You find that on page 4. Tinubu appoints Joseph Tegbe as China-Nigeria Partnership DG. You find all that on page 19. And 4 teenage girls drown in Jigawa River. Find all the details on page 5. All theft won't deter our 3 million barrel goal. That's coming from NNPCL. And the picture story you see there, dignitaries at the 64th Nigeria's Independence Day cake after Thanksgiving service yesterday here in Abuja. Let's quickly go to the Blueprint newspaper now. And above the masthead, NIMET predicts 3-day thunderstorms nationwide from Monday. You find the details on page 7. And below the masthead, most Nigerians enjoy 20-hour daily power supply. That's coming from the Minister of Power, Adelabo. And NPFL, Rivers United, PIP, Enyimba, tornadoes held at home. And the headlines, FG hands over 64 CNG buses to NLC, TUC, NANS with riders to distribute 2,000 CNG tricycles to youth. And it is a promise kept, says the Information Minister. You find the details on page 6. Police organizers dialogue over October 1st protest. FG monitors to forestall chaos. Activists give conditions. Constitution review. Senators unite on LG autonomy. Differ on state police. Find the details on page 8. 13,800 illegal refineries oil pipeline destroyed. That's coming from the NNPCL on page 7. Dangote Cement leaves SMEs in Nigeria. Details on page 23. Flooding. Kebbi receives 3 billion from federal government on mitigation. And Obasanjo behind my impeachment as Governor Ladoja opens up 18 years after. Sedemola? Sorry.
Thank you. I have the Daily Trust newspaper with me, and just below the nameplate, local government LG uncertainty in Rivers, PDP as Fubara's allies effect to APP. Excuse me. Then we have the Constitution review. Northern Southern senators disagree on regionalism. Media Trust donates 10 million to Maiduguri flood victims. Details on page 8. Residents now disagree as airstrike kills cause in Kaduna. 23 worshippers among victims. Locals, we only hit terrorist-based. Air Force and state government is silent on the incident. Details on page 4. Bandit adopts NURTW chair. Health workers 3 kids in Kaduna. Details on page 5. Property burnt as tanker explodes in Bayelsa. Details on page 6. Federal government hands over 64 CNG buses to Labour and NANS. Details on page 40. Then we have this story. Heart diseases spike. Fuel sudden deaths in Nigeria. Then we have the details of that story on page 3. Chooks.
You know, it's not mere tokenism. You know, we journalists have an assignment to keep government on their toes. But please, when government works, also come out earnestly. When you talk correctly about your neighbor, even if it's your neighbor, you feel good inside. The 64 CNG buses should be applauded. It means we are moving forward. And it's not just giving it to labor that makes the news. The news really is transporters are now looking toward that mode of fueling of the vehicle to see whether it makes business more manageable and profitable too. And at the end of the day, affordable to the commuter. So we should not just let it, give it passing mention. It is work in progress. I keep on saying Chukudi likes the way this government is going. But the journalist in me also says, well, we're trying to see that the cup is half full of water, half empty of water, not half full.
And gatekeep them.
You were given money for three water projects. Why are we seeing just 2 on the ground? That's the way we are. It's on behalf of the Nigerian people.
Keep them in check.
But this is commendable.
Yes.
I wanted to start on that very positive note. But
and they're also going to distribute 2,000 CNG tricycles to you.
That's a good one. We are moving, albeit slowly, almost snail speed. The alternative is chaos. May we not have that. That's it. Residents NAF disagree as airstrike kills cause in Kaduna. And the first thing that comes to your lips is, no, not again.
Not again.
It's not collateral damage. No. You're targeting somebody in the process of taking that person out, those close by, that's collateral damage. This one sounds like mistargeting. But my problem is that they are saying that NAF and residents are disagreeing.
NAF says they are not responsible for it. That is the terrorist.
So who done it?
So there is no
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's what NAF says.
I didn't
They are
read
not
this.
responsible for
I
what?
didn't read the story in
For
depth.
the air that kills the scores.
I didn't read the story.
But it was terrorists that killed the scores?
Yes,
I didn't
that's
read
what
this.
NAF is saying.
I didn't read the story in depth. But because we are journalists, we begin to ask questions. If we say they are terrorists, and you're saying it's airstrike, the journalist's mind goes to, are they flying aircraft now? Is that the next level? So if you say it's airstrike, my mind is going to tell me it's not likely to have been done by terrorists, except if you're saying that they now have the F-16s and the Alpha jets and all that. So the handling of information when calamity like this happens does a lot. Messaging is very important. I say it concerning some of the people who work for Mr. President. They have to learn how to talk so that the good work coming from the presidency can
information management, right?
That's why NIPR is always saying, bring your people, let us train them so that they can be able to counter issues like this, situations like this.
I hope my friends, our colleagues who are aides to politicians are not going to relay me. I tell people the journalist may not be the best person to go and be a presidential spokesman.
Yes.
Public speaking. Tony Blair, when he got out of 10 Downing Street, went into public speaking. He knows how to talk. You must learn how to talk. Very important. It's not a Chukudi Ojibo repete. No.
Are you a Toastmaster?
I'm a Toastmaster. God made me so many things. You know, I didn't know which one to pursue. Maybe that make me no get money. So we really feel bad that our fellow men and women have again perished without intent on the part of the NAF. If the NAF did it, we must always introduce a caveat. Since this is the situation we have,
they did it.
We are not sure. Speculation we don't want to bring into our job. You understand? In quotes.
Then we have this heart diseases spike, fuel sudden deaths in Nigeria. That is worrisome.
When you mentioned heart disease, you take me back to the days I practically cried out of the University of Benin teaching hospital. Because they asked me, why does your father still laugh? And Professor Febu told them, it's because he doesn't believe he's going to die. The minute my father saw me coming in tears, he started dying gradually.
Yes.
They said he has just about 34 beats. That's even those are too few beats for even a baby, let alone a grown-up man. Why does he still laugh? I told them he has incurable optimism. That's the way he is. You know, his own was complete heart block. So when you mention heart disease, I want to say whatever is causing it, we must all go out to work against it.
And not self-diagnose it saying it's ulcer.
That's it.
It is not ulcer. When you feel pain around the heart,
when cholesterol begins to block the passages for your blood.
The expert says it's poor diet, sedentary lifestyle, smoking, high sugar in meals, and environmental pollution. They are the major contributors.
Incidentally, the way our life is economically does not quite help your diet. Sometimes the one was here chop. You understand? So
you just eat what you see.
Exactly,
you see,
my
and
brother.
At times you're so busy you forget.
I was saying the other time that this end hunger strike would not have happened. Protest would not have happened if it was if Ekba and Agbado had come out because they rescued us to some extent.
Yeah.
So you know I'm a village boy. I have to say it the way it is. You know,
living in the village is the best life.
No,
you have fresh air, no pollution. You eat what you want to eat.
Do you know that it's one of the things that they mentioned?
Yes.
So when you live in the village, you walk to the farm, then you walk back.
You actually watch that squirrel scrambling up that branch of trees, and you salute nature.
When you wake up in the morning, you clean the house, you exercise. And the air is fresh.
You are not living up to anyone's expectation. It is you and nature. Some people don't know how to enjoy their life.
If not for insecurity, the village is the best place to go and live now.
Okay, maybe you should go there.
Yes, I have always dreamt of owning a ranch where I live my
in
house.
that case, I dare say that you look like a sophisticated villager.
Yes.
Well, in that case, we draw the curtain now.
You throw me out as usual.
Thank you,
God bless you guys.
All right, thank you, Chooks.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow again.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a break now. Good Morning Nigeria continues. Stay with us.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation and Chairman Interministerial Committee on Nigeria's 64th Independence Anniversary, Senator George Akume FNIM-CON, wishes to announce the programs lined up for the celebration of Nigeria's 64th Independence Anniversary with the theme, Reflecting on the Past, Inspiring the Future, as follows. Presidential broadcast Tuesday, 1st October 2024, time 7 a.m. 64th Independence Anniversary Parade, Tuesday, 1st October 2024, venue Presidential Villa, time 10 a.m. All invited guests are to be seated by 9 a.m. Announcer Mohammed Idris FNIPR, Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, and Chairman, Media and Publicity Subcommittee.
Is this the new one?
Yes, ma'am. And each portion contains 5 grams of protein, 2.66 milligrams of iron, 414 IU of vitamin A.
Copy that.
Yeah, come that one.
Move.
Mommy, is that what I think it is, Mommy?
Yes, it is, baby. You are the engine of your family. They win because of you. Will them to win every day with the goodness of Golden Morn. Golden Morn, make every day golden.
From Nestle.
We go here today. Back then I used to be Rasaki, but now I'm rebranded. Call me Chef, you can call me no guest.
How did you meet your lovely wife?
It was an amazing journey.
Adewale, mention a characteristic of a deceitful person.
Cheating. You're corny. Pretense.
You're selfish.
NTA Television College Jos, with a pedigree of producing indelible professionals in the media space and an affiliate of the prestigious Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, for the award of degree in mass communication, calls on prospective candidates to leverage on the following courses it offers for 2024-2025 academic session. BSc Mass Communication, those with minimum admissible score of 180 and above who sat for the 2024 JAM/UTME and direct entry, while 100 to 179 minimum admissible score can apply for the National Innovation Diploma NID in Film and Television Production, Broadcast Journalism and Television Engineering. For more inquiries, visit our website or call 0803-383-4343. Announcer, Registrar.
We all get that party where they get your back anytime or day. E go carry a matter for head like say na own. Now so Go TV tanda for your side as your party for correct enjoyment. We not a tear pocket. For this Go TV Super Plus Golden Window, you fit touchlight all the 380 Premier League games, correct local shows, and better film. We day for you. Make your sharply upgrade or recharge your Go TV on top Super Plus to enjoy every today. The Super Plus Golden Window don't come out money now. Not do yourself, oh. Go TV. Love it.
Nigeria means a lot to me.
And Nigeria means peaceful cohesion.
My country.
We continue to pray, and then hopefully we will come to understand that unity of purpose, unity of living together.
Our ethnic beliefs and background and culture is our strength.
Ever since the amalgamation period of 1914 to date, about 109 years ago, the people of Nigeria live very peacefully with one another.
I think diversity helps a lot to enhance robust development in Nigeria.
All over the country, you have so many ethnic groups, over 250. That is enough to tell you that this is a blessed country that, God has kept, together as one indivisible entity.
You're watching Good Morning Nigeria, and to begin our conversation, let's take this background report on Nigeria at 64.
Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary marks a significant milestone in its journey since gaining freedom from British colonial rule. Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa's vision for Nigeria's global prominence remains a guiding force. Despite facing military coups, economic instability, and corruption, Nigeria has made notable strides. Today, it is a key player in Africa, boasting a growing economy, vibrant entrepreneurship, and a thriving tech sector. Renowned individuals and captivating music have also put Nigeria on the global map. However, the nation still tackles insecurity, poverty, and economic growth challenges. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration aims to address these through economic and energy diversification, infrastructure development, and human capital growth. The theme for the 64th independence anniversary is reflecting on the past, inspiring the future, and encouraging Nigerians to share their thoughts on being a nation at 64. Our guests will explore Nigeria's progress, challenges, and prospects. Get ready for a fascinating discussion as Nigeria refuels towards the next lap.
Thank you, Ibrahim Dan Hamidu, for that background there. Now we have our guests seated in the studio to discuss Nigeria at 64. And first, let me just introduce Professor Nta Yakub. Is the former Vice Chancellor, University of Abuja and Sokoto. Professor Yakub, you're welcome to Good Morning Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you, sir.
It's a pleasure.
Also, we have Comrade Isa Aremu, Director General, Michael Imodu, National Institute of Labor Studies in Ilorin, Kwara State Capital. Comrade, good to have you again.
Very well. Happy independence in advance.
In advance.
Already we're celebrating. And also joining us in the studio, we have Dr. Ene Ede, educationalist, journalist, human rights and development advocacy professional. It's a pleasure to have you join us.
Thank you so much, and we bless God for the work you do. Coming to the studio very early is not easy.
You can say that
it's
again.
A lot of sacrifice.
Yes.
We all pay the sacrifice for for Nigeria to grow.
Thank you.
All right, let's kickstart our conversation this morning.
Are we beginning with the ladies first?
Okay. Since you said that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's start with Madam Ene. Now, from the background report, that Nigeria has made some giant strides in its, development and all that. But at 60, people believe that at 60 you should have attained some level of comfort, development and all that. If Nigeria were a human being, how would you describe Nigeria at 64?
I've always told people that I was just reflecting last night. When I listen to people talk about Nigeria, you'll be wondering if, even if we have opportunity of multiple citizenship, that will cover for being a Nigerian. But I've come to realize over time, when we talk about that, a lot of people get offended. I've come to realize that Nigeria is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. Your report said, the background report said, Nigeria is a key player in Africa. Nigeria is not only a key player in Africa. Nigeria is a global player. So you're talking about Nigeria at if it's a human being and you are approaching 60, how should it be? You should mature. But we have come to see too that there are a lot of instabilities, but when you weigh them side by side by the opportunities and the progress we have made, we realize that we have made reasonable progress. And there is what will be the hope? The hope is that we can do better, because a lot of people talk about a few people who want to give us bad name. The number of people who are patriotic, who are genuinely interested in Nigeria, they are more. So how do we step that up? So looking at Nigeria at 64, Nigeria should stabilize more than it is now. When we say stabilizing, we're looking at the major indices in terms of unity, in terms of equality, especially if you want to look at Chapter 2, Section 23 of the Constitution, when we talk about the ethics of the country. So I think this is an area that we need to drive, we need to emphasize. We're not going to leave it for just a National Orientation Agency. The people always call out National Orientation. Who have the responsibility to?
Everybody.
Yes, last night I asked some of the young people, I said, can you bring this out for me? And I realized that the foundation that we should be able to rise from, because the ethics we have given to ourselves, our founding fathers and mothers, discipline, integrity, dignity of labor, social justice, religious tolerance. I think we shouldn't talk about tolerance, we should talk about common. Once we go to reviewing the Constitution, amending the Constitution, we should be able to amend that. Okay. It shouldn't be tolerant. It means we are just managing each other.
Should be harmony instead.
Yes. There's self-reliance and patriotism. You have shown a lot of it. By the opportunities a number of us we have been able to show this. So how can we look at this as a takeoff point for us? How do we amplify this? I've not heard so much conversation about this. So if we are able to look at this personally, as groups, as individuals, as politicians, different categories of Nigerians, if we look at this critically and we're able to internalize this, it is easier to achieve the nationhood we aspire to have. Outside this is not very easy. This is what we have given ourselves, whether you're a Christian, a Muslim, a free thinker. So for me, in Nigeria at 60, should be moving towards
64.
64, sorry. Should be moving towards being in charge of so many things in the world, especially now that we are looking for position at the United Nations. It should come natural to us because we have everything to be able to get to where we need to be. So Nigeria is a beautiful country that is waiting to be properly harnessed.
Indeed. Let's bring in
Prof to have his own view.
Yes, we're going to go around so that we have an idea.
Let's have your view of if Nigeria were a human being, how would you describe him?
Well, I think there is a disparity between human beings and a nation state.
It's a metaphor, actually.
Well, I mean,
it's a metaphoric expression.
Yeah, well, yeah. If you put it in context, you know, a human being at 64 is expected to be matured, an adult, a person with responsibility. Okay, and is expected to have a family. Is expected to have, even if the person doesn't have family, is expected to actually see what is it that he or she should contribute to the development of the country. And in even thinking about that, you know, it has to be on the basis of the cooperative nature, because not single individual can actually build a country. It's a collective effort. But as a nation state, it's a number of, different kettle of fish or whatever they call it. Because, you know, if you look at the history of the humankind, you discover that all the societies that the humankind have lived in. We're talking of several hundreds of years or even millions of years. So, and there is no country that has ever stopped or come to the conclusion that I'm stopping at this point because I have developed attained that level of development that I don't need to aspire. Everybody is trying to actually see to what extent they can improve on God-given resources or resources and on other things that we have. I would say that as a country we're still young compared to countries that started very much earlier. If you take off Ghana, China, we're talking of go and see the Great Wall of China. I mean, at the time it was built, I have been to China, and the time it was built, I don't think the Chinese have the sophisticated technologies they have at the moment. And it is an edifice that anybody who goes to China will want to go and see that how on earth was it possible. Also look at Egypt, the pyramids. I have also been to Egypt and I've seen to what extent human effort, ability of human being has been translated into concrete structures that have stayed for several years. But I mean, some of these structures we're talking about, they were talking about in the BC period, not AD period. So Nigeria is still, to that extent, or comparatively speaking, a child. But I think also we should have leadership that will have vision. Or we should also have citizens that are prepared to contribute their quotas. That even if we are starting very late, we have people to copy from their own experiences and even perform better. That is the challenge for leadership in this country.
Okay, comrade Gisaramu, let's get your views on if Nigeria was a human being at 64, where would we be?
Well, I'm not sure what I can add to what...
Yes, because my question is, you've been part of the struggle, you've been part of the struggle for nationhood, for Nigeria's nationhood, and I believe the hunger to see it, succeed is still in you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, I think Dr. Ene and Professor New have they've already laid the foundation, and they've answered the question whether we take it as if Nigeria is a human being. Of course, Nigeria is made up of human beings, 250 million. I think we can look at ourselves and find out how far we fared. I think Prof also went further to even make it much more, a little more academic, to show that there's a difference. There's a difference between nation state, and of course individuals. I think I agree with the two perspectives. As an individual, I think we can look at ourselves. I'm a product of independent Nigeria.
But
some of us can say that we are almost as old as Nigeria. And you can see what Nigeria has done to us from humble background. I belong to the first generation of graduates from my family, and you can see the impact it has made. Went to primary school, good secondary school education, went to university, and we're what we are now. I mean, multiple degrees. He also introduced me as a director general. So individuals, I think we've moved on, including some of you are here. But what I just also had is that to discuss independence, Nigeria 64, I think it's also important to reflect life before 1960. And discussing independence, you must also discuss about what life used to be when we were a nation under British, domination. Lagos was bombarded militarily in 1851, and 1861 it was declared a colony. It was armed attack on Nigerians, forced annexation.